see, we have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know is on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the manager?
Yes.
You going to be the coach, too?
Yes.
And you know the fellow's name?
Well, I should.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first base.
Who?
The guy playing
Who
first.
is on first?
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
Throughout her long history, baseball has survived through many turbulent times. The game has lived through wars and scandals. The years 1941 to 1945 were probably the most chaotic and desponding periods in world history. The world was at war. Our very existence appeared to be on a destruction course. And so, while our spirits were low and our minds were racked, baseball was there to try and rekindle some of that lost spirit and restore a little bit of sanity to a world gone mad. The game was there on the field just as it had always been. But it was also on the radio, making us laugh and cheering us up just when we needed it.
Now, look, what do you want?
Now, look, I mean, after all, if I'm the head of the sport department, I got to know the baseball players' names.
Oh.
And I got to know the teams that's playing and everything
Well,
else.
naturally,
So
Alan.
that one team that's playing here this week, do you know the guys' names?
Oh, sure.
Then you go ahead and tell me some of their names.
Well, I'll introduce you to the boys. You know, strange it may seem, they give these ball players nowadays very peculiar names.
Give me funny names.
Nicknames, pet names like Dizzy Dean and
Butter Daffy?
Daffy Dean.
I'm their cousin.
Who are you?
Goofy.
Goofy, huh? Well, let's see. We have on the bags, we have who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
That's what I want to find out.
I say who's on first, what's on second, I don't know's on third.
Are you the fellow that knows all the players?
I certainly.
Well, then who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the fellow's name.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who is on first?
Now, what are you asking me for?
I'm not asking, I'm telling you who is on first.
I'm asking you who's on first.
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
Who?
The guy on first.
Who?
The first baseman.
Who is on first?
Have you got a contract with the first baseman?
Absolutely.
Who signed the contract?
Well, naturally. It's no good unless he signs it.
It's no good unless who signs it.
No.
So who signed it?
Absolutely.
When you pay off the first baseman every month, who gets the money?
Every dollar of it. Why not? The man's entitled to it.
Who is?
Yes.
So who gets it?
Absolutely. Sometimes his wife comes down and collects it.
Whose wife?
Yes.
All I'm trying to find out is what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no, wait a minute. Don't twitch him around. What is on second base?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
He's on third. Now, we're not talking. Think straight.
Now, how did I get on third base?
You mentioned his name.
If I mention the third baseman's name, who did I say is playing third?
No, who's playing first?
Never mind first. I want to know what's the guy's name on third.
No, what's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
He's on third.
There I go.
I like game shake that name.
Will you please stay on third base and don't go off it?
What is it you
Now,
want?
who's playing third base?
Now, why do you insist on putting who on third base?
Now, who am I putting over there?
Yes, but we don't want him there.
What's the guy's name belongs on third?
What belongs on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who's on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got an outfield?
Oh, yes.
The left fielder's name?
Why?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask you.
I just thought I'd tell you.
All right, then tell me who's playing left field.
Who is playing
Stay
first?
out of the infield. I want to know what's the left fielder's name.
What's on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
Third base.
Is the left fielder's name?
Why?
Because.
Oh, he's center field. He plays as well as I do.
Look, you got a pitcher on the team?
Now, wouldn't this be a fine team without a pitcher?
The pitcher's name.
Tomorrow.
You don't want to tell me the date?
I'm telling you, man.
Then go ahead.
Tomorrow.
What time?
What time what?
What time tomorrow you going to tell me who's pitching?
Now, listen, who is not pitching?
I'll
Who is...
break your arm, you say who's on first.
Go ahead, have it your
I
own.
want to know what's the pitcher's name.
What's on second?
I don't know.
Third base.
You got a catcher?
Well, absolutely.
The catcher's name.
Today.
Today. And tomorrow's pitcher.
Now you've got it.
All we got is a couple of days on the
Well,
team.
I can't help that.
You know, I'm a catcher, too.
I know that.
Now, I'll get behind the plate, do some fancy catching. Tomorrow's pitching on my team, and they're heavy. Hitter gets up.
Yes.
Tomorrow throws the ball, the guy up puts the ball. When he puts the ball, me being a good catcher, I want to throw the guy out of first base. So I pick up the ball and throw it to who?
Now, that's the first thing you've said right.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's all you have to do.
Is to throw the ball to first base.
Yes.
Now, who's got it?
Naturally.
If I throw the ball to first base, somebody's got to catch it. Now, who caught it?
Naturally.
Who caught it?
Naturally.
Who?
Naturally.
Naturally.
Yes.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
No. You throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
Naturally.
That's right. Now we're talking.
So I pick up the ball and I throw it to naturally.
You don't.
I throw it to who?
Naturally.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not saying it that way.
I said I throw the ball to naturally.
You don't. You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Well, say that.
That's what I'm saying. I throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
Ask me.
You throw the ball to who?
Naturally.
That's
Same as you. I throw the ball to first base, then who gets it?
naturally.
Who has it?
Naturally.
He better have it.
Now that's it.
Now I throw the ball naturally. Whoever it is drops the ball, so the guy runs to second. Who picks up the ball and throws to what? What throws to I don't know. I don't know, throws it back to tomorrow. Triple play.
Yes.
Another guy gets up and it's a long fly ball to be called. Why? I don't know. He's on third, and I don't give a darn.
How was that?
I said, I don't give a darn.
Oh, that's our shortstop.
It is.
Baseball has always had that innate ability to cheer us up. Even in later years, when peace and prosperity seemed to be the overriding theme of the day, baseball was still a very popular outlet of comedy.
Hello, Olympic Games. What can I do for you, Mr. Double-A? You've got a game. How many couples? 18 people? That's a hell of a lot of people. Well, the ideal game is, 2-3 couples, come over to the house, they get a little smashed, and,
The baseball scene has been populated by many heroes over the years, but no man has been loved quite as much as Casey Stengel. A good player during his playing career, Casey reached his true stardom as manager of the New York Yankees from 1949 to 1960 as he paced the Bronx Bombers to 10 pennants and 7 world championships. A showman, as well as the possessor of a keen baseball mind, the old professor, as Casey was called, could mesmerize any audience with his special brand of language called Stengelese, a double talk that was totally baffling but utterly captivating.
This is Casey Stengel, and I would have to say the first time that the New York Yankees win the pennant in 1949 when we played the Boston Red Sox the last 2 games of the playing season. And a ball was hit naturally out to right field, and we caught a man going into the home plate, and we ended up as the victors, and I believe I was more excited because of my first World Series that I had been accustomed to get into to see if I could go on and make a record.
It has often been said that you are only popular as long as your team is winning. Well, old Casey put that theory to rest when, after his career with the Yankees was over, he took over a bunch of ragamuffins called the New York Mets. They were an awful bunch, but with Casey at the helm, they were able to steal the hearts of the baseball faithful. And if you don't think the fans really love Casey, then you just listen to this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Shea Stadium. As all of you know, I'm sure, Casey Stengel, the manager of the New York Mets. Tonight, he is 74 years young. Will you join me now in saying happy birthday to Casey? Casey, will you come out, please?
One of the greatest clutch hitters in the history of baseball was Tommy Henrich of the New York Yankees. His ability to come up with a key hit when it was needed earned him the nickname of Old Reliable. During his 11-year Major League career, Tommy Henrich had many key hits, but none quite as meaningful as his final hit of the 1942 season.
My biggest thrill was 1942, the day I told the Yankees I was going in service. Actually, the biggest thrill of my life was being in the Yankee uniform. However, this day I told the Yankees I was going to go in the Coast Guard, and they announced in the 7th inning that this would be my last appearance in the Yankee uniform for the duration of the war. Dizzy Trout was pitching, and the people gave me a great ovation, and I was very embarrassed. I got back in the batter's box. I said, "Come on, Diz, let's go." And he says, "No, this happens once in a lifetime. Enjoy it." Well, I did, and then Dizzy started pitching to my dying day. I'll never thank him enough because he gave me nothing but fastballs, and I tried to hit one into the moon on the first two swings. And on the third swing, I said, "Just hit it someplace." And I got a solid single to center field, and that's the way I left to go into service. That's the tops of my feelings in the Yankee uniform.
There have been many great teams in the history of baseball, but no team anywhere or in any sport commanded the attention and captured the public's fancy as much as the New York Yankees. From 1923 to 1964, they dominated the sports scene by winning 27 pennants over a 42-year span. To be a Yankee was something special.
I've got to figure I'm one of the luckiest guys in the world to have played for the New York Yankees for so many years. It was a thrill for me just putting on a Yankee uniform every day and looking down and seeing that NY on my shirt, then going out in the field and looking at that tremendous ballpark. Then when the crowd started to fill the stands, I got a feeling I was so small I wanted to crawl into a hole. To have played with so many great ball players like Joe DiMaggio, Joe Gordon, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra, Bill Dickey, and Red Ruffing, to name a few. You know, when you have great ball players playing alongside of you, it makes you play so much harder.
When I walked into the clubhouse to put on my uniform for the first time with such players as Joe DiMaggio and Lou Gehrig, Bill Dickey, Gomez, Ruffing, it itself is quite a thrill. It seems like there was a thrill a day playing for the Yankees. Frank Crissetti, Red Rolfe, Charlie Ruffing, Tommy Henrich, Phil Rizzuto. I wish I had time to name them all. Just having been a part of some of these great teams that won so many pennants and World Series has been my great thrill, and something that I will always remember and cherish. I was a Yankee.
During their long reign of terror, many great names have graced the New York Yankees lineup. It started with Ruth, was carried on by Gehrig and DiMaggio, and finally ended with Mickey Mantle, a great player who gave his all despite his many physical handicaps.
Well, I think Mantle tolerated more pain than any ball player that I know of, or any athlete, I'd say. He would wrap 9 foot by 6 inch wide Conco bandage gauze on him. We always rub him with what we call a liniment, hot liniment, before he put the bandages on.
And on the pitching side, the Yankees were never caught short. One of the truly great pitchers in Yankee history was spunky little Whitey Ford, who always seemed to save his best for the World Series.
The biggest thrill I've had in baseball since being with the Yankees in 1950 is probably the 5th inning of the 4th game of the 1961 World Series in Cincinnati. After the 5th inning, it had given me 32 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball in World Series competition, and it broke Babe Ruth's record. I feel now that is probably the biggest thrill I've had in baseball.
Despite the gaiety and thrills that baseball has provided us with, it has not been without its dark moments and tragedies. In 1920, a fastball caromed off the skull of 29-year-old Ray Chapman of the Cleveland Indians and killed him. In 1957, the brilliant career of flame-throwing Herb Score of the Cleveland Indians was short-circuited when a line drive off the bat of Gil McDougall struck him in the eye. For Score, it was a moment of life or death. For McDougall, a moment of remorse.
I guess when you have some tragedies like this happen, it does have an effect. I think it takes a little of the starch out of you. When it happened, I was very upset, and what the heck, I think maybe a few months before that I had read where Red Sox had offered him $1 million, and I'm sure he would have been one of the highest paid pitchers of all time had he not got hurt.
In 1967, Tony Conigliaro of the Boston Red Sox, the author of 104 career home runs at the tender age of 22, saw his delusions of greatness go down the drain as he lay sprawled at Fenway Park.
And I don't think there's anybody in the game that was closer to death than I was, and then I got hit. And I just said a couple of prayers just to stay alive. I wasn't ever even thinking about my future in baseball. I was just thinking about being alive.
But maybe the greatest tragedy of all was not something that took place on the field of play, but was instead the front office political policies that has a tendency to run and very often ruin our lives. In 1947, baseball saw the error of its ways and introduced to Big League Baseball Jackie Robinson, the first black ball player.
My main ambition was to get along well enough with whoever I was playing with so that they would realize that there wasn't any friction because I was color and they were white. I mean, we could play together. I think that was my main ambition, was to break down that barrier, not so much for me to go to the major leagues. I just wanted somebody to go. I didn't care who it was.
The exclusion of blacks from its rosters before 1947 denied the baseball fan the chance to see many of the truly great black ball players in their prime. Men like Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Cool Papa Bell, and the legendary Satchel Paige.
I'm jingling my juices and keeping my age because a lot of people want to find out how old I am.
What's the smallest target you've ever thrown over?
The smallest target I ever thrown over was a top off of a Coca-Cola bottle.
But it did open the door to the future greatness for many of the young black ball players to follow. Men like Willie Mays.
There's a long drive, way back in center field, way back, it is.
And Bob Gibson.
Gibson has tied the record of Sandy Koufax, 15 strikeouts in a single World Series game. Trying for number 16 right now against Cash to break the record. He takes his set position, he delivers, here's a pitch. Swing and a miss, he did it!
And Frank Robinson.
The outfield around to the left to Frank Robinson, the right-hand batter. Long drive to left field, way back. This hit goodbye. Home run.
And the greatest home run hitter of all time, Hank Aaron.
And here is Henry Aaron. This crowd is up all around. The pitch to him, bounced it up there, and it's ball one. Henry Aaron in the second inning walked and scored. He's sitting on 7-14. Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7-15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. The fireworks are going. Henry Aaron is coming around third. His teammates are at home plate, and listen to this crowd.
But on the whole, baseball's contributions have been more on the positive side than the negative. It's quotes such as, "Say it ain't so, Joe," "Break up the Yankees," and "Wait till next year," have all survived the yellow pages of time. It's also a game that has thrived on the nickname. The Duckies, the Hawks, the Babes, the Scooters, and Rabbits have all made the game more colorful and enjoyable for the fan.
I got Cy from Cyclone. They shortened it up, and since that I have gone by the name of Cy Young, and my name is Denton Young.
It is a game that has become a mecca for the autograph hunter.
Yes, can you get autograph?
What's your name?
Kim.
Yours?
John.
It is a game that has fostered the all-America dream, a rise from the ashes of poverty to a station of elegance.
I was a left-handed catcher, and 2 years before I went in professional ball players, when I went into pitching. Pitching and hitting and catching, and well, I played in every position in those days. I wanted to play every day, sometimes twice a day. So yes, I was a left-handed catcher for many years.
Coming from a large family, I was the third oldest, and we was a very closely knitted family, you know, and we still are. We were very poor. My father worked at the Alabama Dry Dock and Shipbuilding Company. My uncle was a very good ball player. You know, he played in the Negro American League. In fact, that's how I learned how to play baseball.
It is a game that holds a special place in the hearts of all America. It's a unique game, and the baseball fan is a unique breed. They are fans who can recall the happenings of a quarter century ago as if they happened yesterday. They are fans who always seem to differ on their most memorable thrills. For some, it's a record-breaking accomplishment.
Here comes Roger Maris. Just standing up, waiting to see if Maris is going to hit number 61. Here's the windup. The pitch to Roger, way outside, ball one. And the fans are starting to boo. Low ball two. That one was in the dirt. And the boos get louder. 2 balls, no strikes on Roger Maris. Here's the windup. Fastball hit deep to right. It's putting it way back there. Holy cow! Fight for that ball out there. Holy cow! What a shot! Another standing ovation for Roger Maris. 61 home runs, and they're still fighting for that ball out there. People were climbing over each other's backs. One of the greatest sights I've ever seen here at Yankee Stadium.
Others get excited by a brilliant fielding play.
Joe DiMaggio up, holding at a club down at the end. Big fella sets, Hatton pitches, the curveball high outside for ball one. So the Dodgers are ahead 8-5. And the crowd well knows that one swing with his bat, this fellow's capable of making it a brand new game again. Joe leans in. He has 1 for 3 today. 6 hits so far in the series. Outfield deep, around toward left, the infield overshifted. Here's the pitch. Swung on, belted. It's a long one. Deep to left center. Back for Gianfrino. Back. He makes a one-handed catch against the bullpen. Oh, doctor.
And there are those that relish a masterful pitching performance.
It is 9:46 p.m. 2-2 to Harvey Keene. 1 strike away. Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A perfect game. On the scoreboard in right field, it is 9:46 p.m. in the city of the Angels, Los Angeles, California. And a crowd of 29,139. Just sitting in to see the only pitcher in baseball history to hurl 4 no-hit, no-run games. He has done it 4 straight years, and now he capped it on his 4th no-hitter. He made it a perfect game. And Sandy Koufax, whose name will always remind you of strikeouts, did it with a flourish. He struck out the last 6 consecutive batters.
Yes, baseball fans may differ in their opinions of the greatest play, the greatest team, the greatest player. But that's what makes the sport so great. But there is one thing that baseball fans do agree upon. When one of the old warriors has decided to call it a career, and they give him a rousing send-off, and when his goodbyes are truly sincere, so are theirs.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to look for. Thank you.
From the cow pastures of Cooperstown to multi-million-dollar stadiums, from the horse and buggy days to the internal combustion engine, baseball has come a long way. But beyond the fringes of our modern-day society, beyond the riches that goes with success, baseball is still the same. It's a game for all seasons, for all people. Maybe the greatest accolade directed at the game came from its greatest contributor, Babe Ruth, who in 1947 told the gathering at Yankee Stadium just what baseball meant to him and to them.
You know how bad my voice sounds? Well, it feels just as bad. You know this baseball game of ours comes down from the youth.
Babe Ruth,
That means the
dying, was saying his last goodbyes.
If you're a boy and grew up to know how to play ball, then you come
to the boys you see representing themselves today in your national pastime. The only real game, I think, in the world, baseball.